Swinburne University of Technology.
Hi everyone, I'm Professor Gilly Salmon and I'm the author and the original researcher of the 5-stage model. I'm going to explain the 5-stage model as a scaffold to you, which will help you to design online and blended courses that actually do help to keep your students engaged all the way through the process. So, to tell you about the 5-stage model, there are 5 levels, as you would expect, but there's actually 15 components. Now, I'm going to describe the 15 components to you. The first one is that you do actually have to have people to have access to your technology environment, whatever platform you're using, the learning management system, the social media system, your mobile applications. And they have to have both access to get in and of course motivation. And at the beginning there may be a few issues around the technological access. So I'm going to put that green block there just to remind you that they need to have access. They don't need to know everything about the platform you're using, but they do need to be able to get in, not just once, not just twice, but many, many times. And then they will need some human intervention to help them do that. Now, this is the person that I call the EModerator, who provides support throughout the scaffold to make sure that they get to the end of it with a very productive learning experience. So we're going to make the EModerator blue. And the role of the EModerator at the beginning is to welcome them and to provide support and motivation for them to go on. Don't try and teach them anything yet. And then, of course, the learning itself, we'll make that yellow. At the beginning, it's learning to take part, it's learning to log on, it's learning to come back frequently. So we'll give the learning yellow. You're starting to get the idea of this now. So then stage 2 is the stage that I call the start of online socialisation, of culture building, of starting to build your own little learning set for however long you want your course to last. And at this stage, they will need to be able to take part in the online area. And so number 2 in the green, the technology environment part, they will need to know how to navigate around. They'll need to know how to respond to others. You don't need to know all the features, that's not important, but they do need to know how to take part, how to contribute. And then on that side, we've got the role of the human intervention, the person I call the EModerator, and he or she is really like a host at a cocktail party, introducing people to each other, making sure people are comfortable, that they've got their basic needs satisfied. So the learning at this part really takes part in 3 ways. 1, they need to start forming a team, getting to know others. 2, they need to be familiar with why they're working online for this course. And thirdly, I'm going to squeeze it in the middle, they need to have some idea of what's coming up that's relevant for the course that they're studying. Don't give them hard things to do at this point. They won't be successful and you'll lose many of them. So you can see we've got to stage 2, this team is starting to be built. You can start to see that you're starting to build a scaffold with different components. So the next stage is very much about information exchange. You need to get the learners actually working together to exchange either known information to them or information that they can find. So we'll give them a very nice solid block in the middle there. And this is where you need to design your activities to enable them to take part. And they won't need very much technical help at this point, but you might want to make sure that the links are all working, that they can navigate around, that they really feel that they're familiar with the environment by this point. And the role of the EModerator at this point is to design really good activities and then to support them by giving feedback, to have a presence in that area. So you can see you've got to stage 3, there's 2 more to go. So the next stage is very much about knowledge construction. So we're going to give them some really good planks and columns. You can make the activities at this stage more complex, not necessarily about known knowledge, but about constructing new knowledge. You'll obviously have to make sure that they can take part in whatever environment or environments you've chosen. And you also need to make sure that everyone is taking part and everyone has a key role. But of course you're building on a scaffold and planks that have gone before. And what's the role of the EModerator at this stage? Well, they actually do rather less. They do rather less, but they do it much more carefully. And the role of feedback is still extremely important. And so we come to the fifth stage of the model. And this is where we want students to benefit by looking back for looking forward. A bit of metacognition, looking back to see the role that they've taken all the way through, revisiting some of it, revising some of the learning that's gone on. And you may have assessment. So the role here is very much to enable people to move both backwards and forwards through the online course. And of course there might be some assessment that we'd have to add at that point, formative or summative assessment. And then probably not a lot in terms of the technology environment. So that's the 5-stage model. If you use it to structure your online or your blended courses, I promise you'll have a lot more learners at the top than if you didn't work through those stages. So good luck. I hope you can build it into your Carpe Diem workshops, share it with others, and let us know how you get on. Bye for now.
This has been a Swinburne production.